Check.
And I mean, let's be real. You can't beat Sharknado. Like, someone already did it, you know?
Yeah, that's a thing that is technically true. Someone did do it.
Yeah. I guess technically Sharknado did what Jaws could not do. You know, that's the way that I see it.
Which was what?
Revolutionized the movie industry, my man. You're talking about peak cinema here.
Oh, the irony in that statement.
Oh, I get it. Iron, because there's iron in blood, and sharks smell blood.
Yeah. So anyway, movies. You like them?
I am sure. Why not?
Oh, I don't even know.
I like movies. I like stillies.
Gosh. Those are just called pictures, Daniel.
Oh, well, you know. Everyone's got their own terms.
Yeah. PC culture.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I guess we're just going to...
Welcome to Screenwoven.
He beat me to it.
That was loud.
We're always finishing each other's...
drinks?
All right, well, no.
I just saw that and it got me really thirsty.
But yeah, welcome to Screenwoven, episode 18, I believe.
Mm-hmm. For people who aren't watching, it's probably going to just sound so weird.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You just randomly started laughing and going...
forget we're a podcast and not a live streaming couple of bozos. But yeah, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks. Yeah, thank you for being here, Daniel, at your parents' house to let me in, because I don't think I would have gotten in without you being here. So
That's
thank
true.
you. It has been a while. We were talking about this just before we started recording off camera. It's been like a month. It feels like it's been longer. Yeah. Really. I was thinking about that the other night. I was like, golly, it's been a while since we've met up, but scheduling and all that, it's tough. But hopefully, I'm actually about to go through a bit of a schedule change at work. So hopefully that'll actually create a little more consistency for us, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Sweet. Yeah. So, not a crazy few weeks, even though it has been a while, as far as new stuff to talk about. So we are going to discuss a movie that Daniel has been wanting me to watch. He's talked about it a few times on the show. So if you guys... I'm not going to say if you've seen the title, because sometimes we title these things weird.
That's true.
So I'll hold off on a minute on that. But
I think we've had episodes where one of us has said that, and then the title
doesn't
explain
even,
it at all.
It's like, if you see the title, what we're talking about. The title's like, Daniel and Chris, best friends forever, to the edge of time, 2. I don't know.
That'll be the title of this one now.
Okay. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. The
description will be Daniel finally stops being mean to Chris.
Oh, we're lying to him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I hope. Did I drink out of this?
I don't know. I didn't drink out of it.
Hopefully I'm okay.
Oh, that's my tequila.
It's watered down.
Well...
No,
it is,
I pulled that out of the
morning.
fridge. Well, yeah, I don't know. This guy's a square. No, I pulled that out of the fridge this morning as a fresh bottle, and I don't remember ever opening it. And then I just went to open it, and it opened without, clicking, the thing was already open. So I just was like, man, I hope I already took a sip out of this, because that worries me. But
yeah, I've had that happen before, and then I got really sick.
Great.
I'm just kidding.
Thanks. Love that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just a couple little things I'd like to talk to you about, I guess, before we jump into the movie stuff, because there have been some interesting things to come out in the movie world, the movie sphere. Of course, you've probably seen a lot of these, because I think ever since we started doing this show, you're on Twitter a little bit more than maybe you used to be. Or have you always kind of been on Twitter?
It's actually the opposite. I'm kind of on less.
Oh, it feels like I send you a lot, and at the beginning of doing it, you were like, "Oh, that's cool," and then like as time went on, it feels like you've seen a lot of it. So I don't know, maybe it just pops up for you more or something.
Well, since we've started doing this, I've started looking more on Twitter for like this kind of related stuff.
Gotcha.
And I think now it's sending it to me.
Gotcha. Okay, fair enough. So you may or may not have seen some of this, but so have you heard about the? Well, we did talk about the newest, like, confirmed addition or whatever to the Spider-Man cast.
Bugs Bunny.
Right.
I didn't expect that to land so hard.
Well, it was funny, but it reminds me of another thing from a show that I love where the guy, he like runs an advertisement agency and he sees like all these like business people in a restaurant and he walks up to like introduce himself to kind of, you know, what do they call it when you're like trying to make connections in the business?
Networking?
He's trying to like network a little bit. And one of the women sitting at the table knew his dad from when his dad used to run the business. And she's like, next time you see your dad, you tell him I said so-and-so from such and such asked about him. And he goes, he lives in a loony bin now. He's totally crazy. That won't make any sense to him. And she goes, he said something about he thinks he's a Looney Tune or something like that.
Okay.
And she goes, well, then you tell him I said, what's up, Doc? And he goes, that'll mean a lot to him. And you saying that just reminded me of that.
Okay. So I wasn't actually funny.
No, it was funny. It was funny. It was. Yes, other than Bugs Bunny, though. Florence Pugh has apparently been confirmed to be in the cast, which I'm really excited
Me
about
too.
because Thunderbolts.
Have you watched it on? It's streaming now. Have you watched it again?
Oh no, I didn't know. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I got to show my parents that. I love that movie.
Yeah, movie's so good.
The more I've sat with it, the more we've gone through the year now. That is probably in like a tie for first place for my favorite movie of the year. That and Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
because
they were both great.
I'm gonna be honest with you, they both got me real hyped for where we're headed.
Yeah.
So that was exciting. And then another Spider-Man news. Apparently Jackie Chan and his like fight choreography company, stunt company, whatever, are going to be working on the set doing a lot of the fight choreography, which I'm pretty hyped about.
Do you know what I think that's a hint at? That Shang-Chi is going to have a role in this.
He might. I know that the guy who directed Shang-Chi, I'm pretty sure is the guy who's directing this.
Oh,
so
okay.
There may be some crossover there.
Yeah.
I mean, with this being the last movie before we get into the next Avengers film, I feel like there has to be some crossover with other characters here. But I don't know. Time will tell.
Do you think Shang-Chi is going to be a part of Sam Wilson's Avengers?
I would say yeah, probably.
Yeah,
only because
so.
In his movie, we saw Wong and Hulk, well, Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like they will be on Sam Wilson's event because the ties are already there.
Yeah.
It would be kind of cool though to see like the Thunderbolts of the new Avengers be like comprised of all the newer kids on the block and the old one be like kind of all the OGs that have been in the MCU for a while. Be interesting, but I don't know how they'd split that up. But regardless, I thought both of those were cool little tidbits of news. And then sent you the picture the other day that you had also seen of James Gunn announced that his sequel to Superman, he's already working on it. It'll be out in 2 years. It'll be titled Man of Tomorrow. And he promoted it with an image from the comics of Superman standing next to Lex Luthor with Lex in his green and purple like mech suit that he builds in some, different runs that he kind of uses to be able to be on par with Superman a little bit.
Which isn't that kind of a self-defeating argument? If your whole thing is men like Superman shouldn't be around, why are you creating a suit to make you like Superman?
I think his whole thing is like his brilliance created that. Like I agree with you, but like in his vision, he's like my mind did this.
Yeah,
you know, yeah. Lex is kind of that way though. I mean, he's a narcissist. He could do no wrong. That's kind of the whole point.
Yeah.
And he's bald.
Yeah, that's true too.
He's so bald. But yeah, so I thought that was an interesting little image. Because honestly, I didn't know they were going to go back to the Lex thing. I guess maybe people were like, we're going to need more Lex in the next movie, so he will once again probably be the main antagonist. I've heard rumors already that the whole concept would be that, and maybe people are just getting this from a comic run, I don't know. But a lot of people are saying the concept would be that they are opposing forces for most of the movie, but then at the end, they'll team up to fight Brainiac.
Oh.
Which would be really interesting.
That would be really interesting.
So, we'll see. Time will tell on that. Batman 2 script is completed. Some people have already read it that are tied to the movie. They said it's really, really, really good. Thoughts on that? I know you're probably not like super duper hyped for that.
I mean, I'm not like over the moon excited, but I'm like, yeah, Superman was good. I'm kind of excited to see where it goes.
Well, but the Batman had supposed to have nothing to do with Superman. This version of him.
Mm-hmm.
Have we talked about that? Like, what are your thoughts on? Would you want Pattinson to cross over into this like DCU, or would you want a whole new Batman for the DCU?
Well, I'm just tired of new Batman. So I'm not crazy about Robert Pattinson's Batman, but I would rather him just be a part of the DCU because I'm just tired of we've got too many Batmen. And it's like, all right, so now we're going to have a whole other side Batman series and another Batman in the DCU at the same time. It just, I don't know. But I mean, you know, I'm open to, if they have a good vision for it and they're going to do it, then all right. I've seen a lot of stuff on Twitter about people being like, who's going to be the DCU Batman? But maybe I feel like at this point, if they pick Pattinson, they're going to be like, what? The whole time you're letting us trying to figure out who it is?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, to be honest, yeah, I could get people getting upset. Like, don't tell me that there's no way it's going to be him, and we're like getting excited about who it could be, and they're like, okay, it's him.
Yeah.
Like, but I will say, I saw someone say something the other day on Twitter that kind of resonated the most with where I stand on it, which is, to me, it's kind of a win-win. I really like the Pattinson take. Maybe I'm in the minority on that. I don't know.
You're not. I'm in the minority on that.
I like him. So if he crossed over, I would think it would kind of be the perfect, like, you've got Corn Sweat's Superman, which is just like, I love everybody, positive, bright, like, you know, bubbly almost kind of person. And then you've got Pattinson's Batman, which is like, I don't like anything or anyone. All I see is gray. Like it would kind of be the perfect matching because they really both embody the far ends of the spectrum that they're supposed to be representing as far as like tone.
Mm-hmm.
But if we do get a whole new actor playing Batman in the like greater DCU, my hope is that what James Gunn said at the beginning stays true, which is he wants his, like, the larger picture DCU to be something he can more, like, play around with, and it's more fantastical and comic-based, and, you know, just, like, anything could happen. I feel like that's a version of Batman we're more likely to see him have a Robin and, you know, fighting some of his, like, wackier villains, you know, so personally, for me, it's a win-win. I don't really know if I have a preference right now. Now, after the Batman 2, I might be like, I absolutely need him to be the Batman no matter what. Or I might be like, I've kind of had enough of that. I'd like
Yeah.
to see something else. Like, give me a different take.
Do you mean after the Batman 2 or after the? You said Superman 2.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, after the second Batman
Yeah.
movie, I would need to.
I thought you said Superman 2. Now I don't remember.
I don't know.
Oh.
Either way, after the second Batman movie, I would need to. I'd need to decide after that, because one movie, it's hard. Like where I stand right now, I'm like, I could go either way on it. But
Well, also, it's the one. How are they going to approach the Batman 2 now that Superman is out? Like, I think that plays a role
It's
in
true,
how
too.
you're gonna your perspective on it too.
that's a fair point.
I agree with you. I actually like Robert Pattinson's Batman. Like, I like him as Batman, and I liked his take on the character. I just didn't like that movie that much. My biggest thing was the villains. You know, it was two things. It was I hated the portrayal of the Riddler, and I hated that Batman never won. Like, he's been Batman for 2 years, and he never caught the bad guy. Like, everything had to be done for him. But so the benefit of a new DCU Batman is, like you were saying, I actually, here's the thing. Jim Carrey's Riddler was actually really, like, interesting. I think if Jim Carrey, I mean, obviously he's too old to do the Riddler now, but if he were to do the Riddler with, like, in the James Gunn's universe, like if he had James Gunn running the show, but he was playing the Riddler, that would have been, I think, really, really the wackiness, and it could have worked so well. So I'm hoping.
I don't know that he's too old.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe not.
I mean,
that would be
Riddler,
crazy.
The
if they
Riddler's
did
not
that.
a super demanding role. I don't think he's not. He doesn't need to fight. He's not really a fighting opponent. He's a mental adversary more.
That's true. But the Riddler's always young in the comics, right?
I mean, relative to who? I mean, he's usually around Batman's age or maybe a little older. But yeah, I mean, don't get me. I'll put it like this. I'm not saying like a 2-year-old Jim Carrey could go in and just look like 62-year-old. Like, they would need to maybe doctor him up to look a little younger.
Yeah, I see.
But like, I don't think he would need to look like he's 20 years old to be the Riddler.
That's
like,
fair.
I think it would actually almost lend itself to the story if he's a good bit older than Batman, because it would kind of also make sense narratively as to, like, one of the reasons he looks down on him. You know, he thinks he's smarter than him, which is, you know, an argument to be made. But like, him looking down and like, I'm your elder, you know, like, that would also add to that, I think. But
true.
I don't know. I don't know if they would go that route or not, but it would be interesting. All these people they've brought back to play characters, you know, Keaton being brought back to play Batman and all this stuff, you know, I'd be interesting. I'd be open to it. But yeah, so other than that, I mean, I can't really think of anything too crazy. Did you see the Zombies trailer?
Oh yeah. I'm just tired of zombies.
What'd you think of it?
Well, I saw a clip of the fight between Blade and Ghost. That was sweet,
dude.
Like, that was really, really cool.
Yeah.
But I'm just kind of like, I don't like the idea of zombies, Marvel zombies.
It's fair.
If that's your thing, it looks amazing.
My thing is, it was a huge event in the comics years and years ago. I actually have a couple of them. I have the Deadpool one, it was pretty funny. I wonder if he's gonna show up now that he's like in the MC. That would be cool. That would be hilarious. But they did like a brief what if episode on it some years back. I think in the first season of What If.
Did you watch all those?
Not all of them. I couldn't do it. Some of them were not great.
I couldn't even start any of them.
I watched a few. Some of them were okay, and I've heard it's gotten a lot better. And I really should go and give the second, and I think there's even a third season out now, a chance. Because honestly, I heard that even if you stuck with the first season, it all like kind of culminated into something that was really cool at the end. But there were some that I was just like, I can't watch this.
Yeah.
Like I think the one I gave up on was like Thor going to the like planet to planet to party, and he was like, yeah, he's just throwing like rave foam parties on different planets, and I was just like, what the heck is this? I couldn't do it, but
that sounds like a comedy. Like
yeah,
it sounds like an SNL skit.
right? Like it was supposed to be like funny, and I was like, why? Why? But I kind of gave up on it. I heard it got a lot better, and I've heard the newer seasons are a lot better than the first one. And I've always liked the premise. Those are a comic, actually, that ran, I don't know if they're still doing them or not, but for years and years, they were doing like, what if Spider-Man was on the Fantastic Four? What if the, Hulk, God, what was the big Hulk one? Oh my gosh. Anyway, I'm blanking, but they had a lot of, they would do like just random little one-offs. What ifs. It was its own little series. So when they announced the show, I was actually kind of hyped for it, but I didn't think they utilized it very well. But they did do a zombies episode, and from what I heard, or maybe I did watch that one, it was pretty good. It was done pretty well, and I think that was like one of the more well-received episodes from that season. And so they were like, well, hey, we'll just do our own little mini series of that. Like people liked it, so we'll give them more of that. So this is I think it's a little 4-part mini series done by the same animation team that did the What If, that just focuses only on the zombies storyline. And I wasn't really sure about it, but then I watched that trailer, and seeing Spider-Man like leap through the air and rip like 20 zombies' heads off with webs while he's in the air, and like Blade fighting zombie ghost and all, I was just like, okay, this actually looks kind of sick. I'm not gonna lie. Plus the Thunderbolts are in it, and I've been dying for more Thunderbolts. So they got that cast back to do voice acting for their characters. Oh. So I kind of want to watch it just even for that. But I was like, dang, this looks pretty good actually.
Maybe I'll check it out.
Yeah, I'm going to. I honestly didn't think it'd be something that would be up your alley, but I just thought I'd ask if you saw the trailer and what you thought of it. Did you watch the whole trailer, or you just saw that clip?
I just saw that clip.
Check the trailer. Just let me know if watching the trailer changes makes it more or less appealing.
Even you talking about it makes it a little more appealing. I'm like, oh, well, that sounds interesting, I guess.
Fair enough. So what about you, man? You got any tidbits that you saw that I didn't touch on, or?
I've been seeing a lot about, I'm sure you've heard about all this. I've been seeing a whole lot of news circulating about how Doomsday might start, and how it's apparently has to do with when Steve Rogers went back in time to live with Peggy, that caused an incursion that killed Doom's family.
Oh my gosh.
And Doom is coming to get him at the beginning of it. So, I thought you had seen that, but
no.
Just and it apparently, if what I've seen is true, it's confirmed that Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., and there's someone else. I can't remember the third person, but he's like in a different. Loki. Tom Hiddleston have all shot scenes in that household that where Endgame ended.
Oh my gosh.
So that's got me pretty hyped. That's like, whoa. So yeah. That's a really interesting concept. But yeah. I don't know. I don't know
really
how true that is.
I'm really looking forward to that movie.
I know, yeah. There's so much, cuz one of the things we've talked about is like they really have a lot of opportunities here, and they really need to capitalize on all of them.
They really do.
And it sounds like they're trying to.
They really do. The newest thing I've heard about Doomsday stuff was Channing Tatum said that he's going...
Channing Tatum is in it? I'm just kidding.
Yeah. He got interviewed, and he was talking about how they're toning down the whole Cajun thing he did in Deadpool and Wolverine, because he was like, that movie had a much more like comedic tone. They wanted it to be shocking and jarring, But he said in this, like, it's still going to be there, but they're toning it down because they want him to be taken more serious. And I think, said something about he's already been like, I don't know, maybe he didn't say this or maybe it was a rumor, but somehow, some way there was a thing going around that there's a pretty big fight between Gambit and Doom. So I'm very intrigued.
Yeah, me too. I just wish it wasn't so far away, you know?
It's next year. That's not that bad.
It's a year and a half. We don't even get Spider-Man for a whole year. And then we get Doom.
No, it's not a year and a half because it comes out
in December, right?
They moved it out to December?
I thought so. I thought that's what you told me last time.
Oh, crap. Then, yeah, it is close to a year and a half. I thought it was still out in the summer.
No.
Because I thought that and Spider-Man were supposed to come. No, wait. I thought, if anything, they moved the date up some.
They were. What I remember is Spider-Man and Doomsday were supposed to come out in the summer, and then they pushed Doomsday to December. Because we had an episode where we talked about it.
Yeah, that is a little ways away. But still, I mean, you got a little less than a year for Spider-Man. That'll keep us going those few extra months until, Doomsday. It's not going to be fun, don't get me wrong, but, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the good news is we have great movies to watch in the meantime that probably a lot of people listening, including yourself, may not have heard of.
Yeah.
I realize that's the thing that I do is I tend to find movies people haven't seen or heard of.
You've listed quite a few before to me that I was like, Lord of the Rings? Like, what is what is that?
That's the one you've seen before.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I was waiting.
Just a longer pause. I went for my drink and then I realized you were drinking and I was like, I don't know what to say here.
Or however you do it.
So anyways, yeah. I mean, did you have more news or something? Or
not that I can think of. I mean, I started watching a new show. It's pretty good. I doubt
I was talking about news.
Yeah. Yeah, like things people care about, including me.
See, I was lying. Apparently, I am still being mean to you, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, no, like big movie news or anything. Not that I can remember.
Did you? Naked Gun's been out for a while now, right?
Yes.
Have you seen it?
No.
Okay.
I haven't gotten to see that or Nobody 2. There was another one that I wanted to see. I never got to see F1 with Brad Pitt. Yeah. I'm going to tell you, man, Prime is about to make a buttload off me because I'm going to be renting and possibly purchasing a few movies.
I still haven't seen the last Mission Impossible, and it's on Prime for to pay, but I can't. We're waiting. But
Yeah.
part of the thing is like with watching Evangeline, it's hard to carve out that much time to watch a full, and I don't want to watch that movie in segments. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I don't blame you. Yeah,
I want to see it so bad.
They don't have it for rent?
They do, but it's about just as much to buy it.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm just gonna buy it.
What a ripoff!
I know. I wish there were still DVD stores where you could buy things that have released on DVDs.
Yeah.
Maybe it's available at like Walmart or something.
Probably.
I don't know why I didn't think to go there.
Because no one likes to go to Walmart.
That's true. If you're going to Walmart, it means you're out of options.
Yeah.
Even if you work there.
Especially if you work there.
I'm sorry for any of our 2 listeners who might work at Walmart.
Raymond used to work at Walmart.
You see what I mean?
Yeah. He was just back in town for a couple days.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad he didn't tell me.
Wow.
Did you see him?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, just for a little. We had to find one day that just worked for everybody, and we just spent a little time. We went and got dinner, and then came back to the house and played some video games, like adults.
Yeah, man.
I'm glad he didn't tell me. That was good.
Thank you.
That was like quick. You're making up for some of your worst ones at the beginning. You're finding your rhythm. Yeah,
that's right. And that's why the beginning will not be included in this
We're
podcast.
cutting out the whole first half.
Yeah.
Getting ready for the shortest episode ever. Chris and Daniel, best friends to the edge of time 2, the condensed version.
Credits roll.
Yeah. So yeah, you want to just jump into?
Let's jump in.
Fiction is stranger than life, or something like that.
I actually rewatched it yesterday because Claire took Evangeline to have like a play date with a friend of hers who nannies, and I was like, oh, it's on Prime, I'll rewatch it again, and I was able to watch it all the way through. So we're talking about Stranger.
Wait, it was on Prime for free?
Yeah, I told you that. I told you it was streaming on Prime. Did you buy it?
I had to find a guy who was selling it for $50.
You're just messing with me right now.
I bought a bootleg version of this movie for $50.
Okay, you had me for that. You had me in the first half, not gonna lie. But anyways, yeah, so we're talking about Stranger Than Fiction today, and if you haven't seen it, it's a movie with Will Ferrell and Maggie Gyllenhaal, and Will Ferrell plays this guy. Did you not like it?
No, I'm shaking my head at her.
Oh, okay.
Not a big fan of her.
Yeah, me neither.
That's an actress.
You think she's a bad actress?
I'm not gonna say she's a bad actress.
She's terrible. No.
She kind of ruined the Dark Knight trilogy.
Oh, that's fair.
I liked the first Rachel better, and ever since then, I've just kind of had a bad taste in my mouth for her, and she kind of acts like a complete jerk in this movie. Like,
oh, really? In Stranger Than Fiction?
Yeah, she, like, literally, like, I'll put it like this. We'll get into it, but, like, I got it. I understand it narratively, but, like, logically, I couldn't get over it. Like, it was one of those things I could not suspend my disbelief enough to be like, this is acceptable behavior.
Dude, oh man, we're gonna disagree, and I'm not gonna look for. I really thought you were just gonna fall in love with this movie. Like,
no, the movie wasn't bad.
Okay,
it just wasn't good.
Well, I mean,
no, I'm just kidding. No, the movie wasn't. The movie wasn't bad, but like, we'll get into it. It's a very specific. I guess you could call it a nitpick. Like, it's more of a me thing than anything.
I get that. I mean, yeah, if I was in his shoes, I would think she was a huge jerk, you know?
Yeah.
But she kind of won me over as the film went on.
Yeah, she gets a little better.
Yeah.
A little.
Well, anyways. All right. Well, I guess let me just tell me your thought, because I love this movie, and I've been trying to get you to watch it for a while because I think you would like it. It's my favorite genre. It's a dramedy, and it's got a really unique premise. Like, it's a really unique idea that I haven't ever seen done before. So basically, Will Ferrell hears this voice in his head, and it's a narrator narrating his life, and he finds out that it's an actual author in real life who is writing his story. And yeah, and so he's got to find the author before she kills him. So, what are your thoughts?
So is this technically a maybe this is another Sing Street thing where, like, I just did not find it that funny.
What?
I did not.
Okay. I was actually thinking when I recommended this, I was like, this will be better than Sing Street because this one is actually, like, no joke. Like, it's 100% half comedy. 100% it's 50% comedy.
I can't say there's no scenes that I watched and was like, that's kind of funny, but, like, it's much more drama than comedy. Much more. Like,
oh, I disagree with that. It's like half and half for me.
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean,
look. So this is twofold for me. A, the premise itself. I went into the movie not looking for funny because the premise lends itself more to, like, introspective, like, you know, it feels metaphoric. Like, it's like there's a deeper meaning to this kind of thing.
Well, sure, yeah.
And yes, Will Ferrell's the lead, but there are plenty of comedic actors who do drama movies like to show their range. So I didn't go into this expecting funny. And there were a few scenes, like I said, that were pretty funny. But I think the other part that plays into it is I've kind of been over Will Ferrell for a long time. Like, I just got over the whole Will Ferrell stuff. Like, as a kid, I loved Will Ferrell movies. My family, we always would rewatch Kicking and Screaming, Elf. As I got a little older, like watching Talladega Nights and Step Brothers and stuff. But like, once I got to like junior or senior year of high school and started realizing that like Will Ferrell kind of has one character he plays over and over and over and over and over again, I was like, yeah, I'm kind of over this. I'm kind of over the Will Ferrell thing. So I also don't find him that funny anymore, like at this point in my life.
Well, I completely agree with that. I'm not a huge Will Ferrell fan, actually. He's not funny in this movie. Like,
Right.
his character is not funny. The things that happen to him and the other characters are what's funny. Like, one of the funniest scenes to me is when he goes to the professor guy and he's like, I can't help you. There's nothing about you that's literary. Even though he missed, I don't know if you caught this. I love this kind of storytelling where it's like show, don't tell, like perfect. But as he's explaining to the professor what's going on, the professor's asking him questions. Were you counting the tiles in the bathroom? But when they were in the bathroom, the graphics showed he was actually measuring the amount of soap.
Yeah.
So, and he was saying there's nothing literary about you, but it's like, no, you just completely missed what he was actually doing. That was a little funny. That wasn't like hilarious. But then the part where he's like, I can't help you. And then Will Ferrell talks to him and he's like, all I remember was she said, little did he know. And he's like, did you just say little did he know? And he goes, I've done whole seminars on little did he know. And then he's like, 10 seconds ago, you said you wouldn't help me. It's been a very revealing 10 seconds, Harold.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like that was one of the ones I was like, that's kind of funny. Although I will say I did not understand why he was asking him about the counting stuff. Hearing you explain it in that way makes it a little more understandable. But I was like, why does he keep asking him if he's counting things like he's Rain Man or something? And then like...
That's funny because he played Rain Man, Dustin Hoffman.
Wow, I actually didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then like you said, the little graphics were showing him counting things. So I was like, why is he lying about it? Like, because the whole movie, all the narrator talks about is how he counts this and he counts that and he knows his steps to this and that. And I'm like, and then it's literally showing graphics of him calculating stuff. I'm like, you're going to tell me you weren't counting? You're a liar. You're lying.
No, but the thing is Dustin Hoffman was getting it wrong, getting what he was counting wrong. That's what was so funny. He was spot on the quirks he should have if he was a character in a novel, but he was wrong about the specifics. I thought that was really clever the way they did that whole scene.
I did like the whole thing of him sitting down and being like, are you a king of anything?
Yeah.
Are you blah blah blah, and like going through all these tropes, and then like he explains to him what he's doing, and he's like, are you not relieved that you're not a golem? And he's like, yes, I'm relieved that I'm not a golem. And then like it gets real serious for a minute, and then he picks his notebook back up and he goes, do you have magical powers? And the scene cuts. That was pretty funny. I did really like that. I'll give you, honestly, the professor was really funny. Yeah. Most of the scenes with the professor were really funny until the end.
Karen Eiffel was funny too. It's like,
she was
in the hospital.
Weird, funny, yeah.
She was like, are there any people who are
not
actually
gonna
dying?
Get better?
Yeah.
Because these guys aren't helping me. They can help me. Yeah, that was pretty funny. I was glad to see Queen Latifah was like appropriately used in this movie. A little Queen Latifah goes a long way. She's got a big personality, and I was like, what are we doing here? Yeah. Like, what are this? Like, I just feel like her normal like comedic shtick, which is what I was expecting. I was like, I just feel like that's not gonna fit, and it wouldn't have, and it didn't. She didn't do that. She was like this calm, reserved. She did really. I liked her in the movie. Dustin Hoffman was great. Maggie Gyllenhaal's the worst. Will Ferrell was Will Ferrell.
Don't you think though that this was a better version of Will Ferrell? Like, because it wasn't his usual comedy, which I'm tired of that too. I don't actually think he's super funny.
So, at the risk of sounding like a complete hypocrite, no. I got annoyed and kind of bored with his same old routine and comedy stuff, but I also think that he it fits him a lot better than doing what he did in this movie. I don't think he's a good drama actor.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like he had this outstanding performance, but I just I liked him because he felt so stiff, and that felt like a boring IRS agent. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but like normally to see him play something like that, he's gonna amp up the physical comedy a little bit and like do the whole stiff routine to like an exaggerated level. So like to see him just do it at a normal, I don't know, he's not the best actor.
Yeah. I mean, I'll grant you that. I wasn't like blown away. If it would have been someone else in the role, I might have liked the movie even more.
I would agree.
But I just think the writing and the storytelling was so good.
It was a very unique, what's the word I'm looking for? Like story delivery, method or whatever. I don't know the word. There's a word for that or a phrase, but it was a very unique way to deliver the plot.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. But yeah, no, I did not like him. That's probably my biggest gripe of the movie is that him as the lead, it was a little distracting at times because I was like, that's Will Ferrell. Like, it's not like I didn't buy that he's Harold Crick. You know, like I was like, that's just Will Ferrell. And he's not even like peak Will Ferrell. He's 2006, I'm going to show you I could be a drama actor, Will Ferrell. Like, have you ever, I highly doubt you have. But
go ahead.
I was going to say, have you ever seen the movie Foxcatcher?
No.
So it's a movie, I'm pretty sure Channing Tatum's in it and Mark Ruffalo. And it might be, maybe Mark Ruffalo's not in it. I can't remember. But I'm pretty sure it's Channing Tatum and Steve Carell. And it's about Channing Tatum is playing a guy. I'm pretty sure it's based on a real story. It's like an Olympic wrestler who kind of had like rough beginnings and like had to like overcome a lot of things and become an Olympic level wrestler. And he had this coach that was like really, really, really tough to the point of possibly being like brutal. And Steve Carell plays the coach in that movie.
Okay.
I've never seen the movie because from everything I've ever heard, I think it'd be a little too intense for me. But from everything I have heard, Steve Carell like blew people away when he did that movie. Now, I think it helps that they had him made up. I'm gonna try and pull up a picture here to show you like you know how Colin Farrell looks in the Batman as the Penguin? Like you can't even tell it's him. That's kind of how they had Steve done. Carol.
Please stand by for a short intermission.
Yeah, please. While I Google. Google. Hey, Google. That's him in the movie.
Oh.
So like you could tell it's him, but like it I think it helps that he's got some stuff done.
Yeah.
But like so you don't just look at it and go, oh, wow, I'm just looking at Steve Carell. Like, it looks a little different, like just enough to throw your brain off.
What's the movie called again?
Foxcatcher.
Foxcatcher.
Matter of fact, I got it. I mean, that's what I Googled to show you that. Let me see if I can just read you like a little. So it says, when wealthy John DuPont, which is Steve Carell, invites Olympic wrestler Mark Schultz, Channing Tatum, to move to his estate and help form a wrestling team for the 1988 Olympics, Mark sees a way to step out of the shadow of his charismatic brother, Dave, Mark Ruffalo. Okay, Mark Ruffalo was in it. However, DuPont begins to lead Mark down a dark road, causing the athlete's self-esteem to slip. Meanwhile, DuPont becomes fixated on bringing Dave into the fold, eventually propelling all three toward an unforeseen tragedy. So, from what I remember, well, maybe I shouldn't say that because that might be a little spoilery.
It sounds like it's a tragedy.
Yes.
I don't think I would like it.
Yeah.
But I kind of would like to watch it just to see Steve Carell now.
Yeah, he like, I don't know if he actually won awards, but I'm pretty sure he was nominated. He might have won award. Like, he did amazing in that. I didn't get that or even close from this with Will Ferrell, which, I mean, you're not gonna. This is supposed to, like you said, it's at best it's a dramedy. That's like a straight on drama. So there's a difference, and that's a serious story, and this is more like for fun. It's like a fantastical kind of very straight up fictional story. So there's differences. I'm just saying, Will Ferrell didn't blow me away. the rest of the cast did pretty great. But yeah, that held
Yeah.
it back a little.
You know who I think could have done really well in that role?
Who?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling can do anything.
I know.
I don't know, dude. Ryan Gosling might be kind of strange in that role. I think he could do it, but
He could do it.
It's just hard to picture.
Ryan Gosling can do plain. He can do plain.
But even his plain face, he just looks like a model, you know?
Like, yeah, but I mean,
he doesn't strike me as like boring IRS agent.
To be fair, that I would buy that more. I did not buy it when Maggie Gyllenhaal's character started falling for Will Ferrell.
I will give you that one.
Like, I was like, why? What are you seeing him? He looks like twice your age and doofy. Like, at least with Ryan Gosling, I could be like, you know what? He lives an estranged life and he's got weird tendencies, but he looks good. So I could see a girl being more open to like, you know, I mean, he's cute. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even though she's mad at him and even though he's acting odd and all this stuff, like that, I would buy that more.
Yeah, I'll give you that. But to me, their romance was more like it wasn't so crucial to the plot that it bothered me that much. It's like,
that's true too. It was like a B plot thing.
Yeah. But I mean, I do give that to you. But I still liked their love story and like what they did with it, because the whole scene to me was whenever there's a really interesting idea. Like, it's such an interesting way to get you to think about life this way. But he goes to the professor after his apartment gets crushed, and you know he's got to go live with his friend now, and he's like, I don't know what to do. Like, I can't find this I can't figure this out. And the professor's just like, look, I don't know what to tell you. This narrator might kill you. You might as well just go live your life and enjoy it. And it's the first time the professor actually makes sense, because all of his other advice, he's kind of a pretentious guy, and but he actually says something kind of profound, and he's like, you can just eat pancakes if all that you want. And he's like, this is my life. Who chooses between living and pancakes chooses pancakes. You know, there's another funny line to me, but.
Well, but to me, the funnier part of that is when he gets serious with him and he's like, hello, this is comparing the quality of life being lived to the quality of the pancakes.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And it was mainly funny to me because I was thinking that. I was like, well, it depends on how good the pancakes are. And then he literally says that. So I was like, that's pretty good.
It's funny, but it's also profound, because
it is in the context.
Right. Yeah. And I'm with you. I laughed too when he said that, but he's giving you a very good point. We're all going to die at some point.
Yeah. Quality
of life matters just as much as the length of it. You know, what good is extending your life if it's meaningless?
Yeah.
You know? And so Will Ferrell just takes that advice, you know, even though he's reluctant to. And I like this scene when he's like in the bathroom and he's like counting his brush strokes, and then he just stops, and then he just starts brushing his teeth like normal. And he goes and plays, and then he realizes he likes this baker girl, so he's going to go pursue her, and he brings her flowers.
Yeah.
And I go, that was really clever.
Yeah.
You know, because she's a baker and they're actual
bags
baking
of flour.
Yeah. And so then that whole scene, and then the whole when he's marketing comedy and tragedy, and then at the end he's like, this might be gibberish to you, but I think I'm in a tragedy.
Yeah.
That was really fun. He's got like the whole page of tragedies marked up. So that whole love, and then just him realizing like I gotta do something with my life. I can't just another funny thing is the scene in The Professor where he's like, a comedy is like, more people will like hate you and dislike you. Do you know anyone who hates you? He's like, I'm a representative of the IRS. Everybody hates me.
Yeah.
He's like, have you found anyone who might loathe the very core of you? A woman told me to get bent recently. That's good. Try to develop that.
Yeah, Hoffman really made the movie, honestly, for me. He was probably my favorite character.
Mine too.
The author probably could have been if we got a little more of her. I honestly felt that with her being kind of like literally the driving force of this movie, we didn't get very much of her. And that, I mean, I'm sure is an intentional decision, but and who knows? Maybe had we gotten more, I would have been like, all right, that's too much of her. She's weird. And she was weird.
Yeah.
So I think no pressure. No pressure, okay? But you may make or break how I felt about this movie in this
Oh, no.
conversation. I don't get it.
You don't get what?
I don't get the movie. I don't get it. Like, I felt like when I finished it, I sat in my chair and just kind of sat there for maybe 30 minutes and was just like playing a game on my phone and trying to like let it soak and sink in and just think about it. And I was like, I feel like I'm just missing something. I kept looking for the point. You know what I mean? Because like not every movie has to have a point or a message or a lesson or this or that. But like this one felt like it was going to. And I thought I kind of had it pinned. Because all the way up to a certain point, I was like, okay, I see where this is going. I'm going to be interested to know how they bring it home. You're good. How they bring it home and make it make sense. And what I thought was going to happen, because she finishes the book, she pins the basically outline of the ending and his death. All while that's happening, the other plot is coming to a head of him realizing he doesn't want to die. He's falling in love. He's got to find this author. He realizes who she is, and he's got to track her down. So these two things are kind of culminating into this moment where he rushes down to a payphone. This is the first part that confused me. He rushes down to a payphone and dials her up and calls her. And then her phone rings. As she's typing, the phone rings. The phone rings a second time. And every time she types it, the phone rings. And I was like, okay, I'm ready for the bait and switch here. Like, I'm ready for them to be like, like the classic thing of like, a character is sneaking up to a door and your protagonist is on the other side of the door and they're like getting closer and closer and closer to it. And then they like get to it and fling it open. And then it turns out they're at the wrong door. Your protagonist is still hidden somewhere. Like it felt like we were getting ready for that moment. It kept cutting back and forth between the author talking on the phone and him talking on the phone and like piecing it like they're having a conversation to each other. But I was like, okay, like this is going to be where the bait and switch happens. Like who is she really talking to? And then it turns out she's really talking to him, this fictional, supposedly character that she's writing. And I was like, at that point, I was like, what? Like, so let me get this straight. This all is happening in real life. He really is a real human being. She really is a real human being. He's hearing her in his head. So even though he's real, he's also fake because he's a fake character in a fake book. I don't know. Like, was the point of this that, like, art is so real that it, like, takes a toll on you? Like, he wasn't really real, but she imagined him so real that she met with him and then couldn't kill him. And she, like, had that little breakdown of, like, how many people have I killed? But, like, all she did was write books. Or is like the point that like you were saying, like quality of life matters more than the length of it, which to me, if that's the point, would have been perfectly sealed up with him dying at the end. But then they backed off of that. I was kind of mad at that. I was like, why? The whole thing was about him.
Dude, you were mad at that? The way that they saved his life, it was the wristwatch thing. The wristwatch was embedded. That was so good.
That was cool. I did like that, but I just almost didn't get it a little bit. Like
I can tell you what I think.
Yeah,
the point
give me your
I don't. Obviously, I don't think they would say it this way because they weren't trying to weave biblical themes into it. But the point is, if you try to save your life, you're going to lose it. But if you lose your life, you're going to save it. So Harold Crick was in this just routine. He's just going through the motions because he's just trying to do what needs to be done to live. And then he realizes, I'm going to die. I need to live my life, right? And so he starts doing that. But then when it gets to the point where he realizes I have a chance to save like myself here, he realizes and accepts, wow, quality of life really is more important than just the length of it. And because he accepted that, that's what convinced her to keep him alive, because she said the story's supposed to be about someone who doesn't know they're going to die, but then they die anyway. But if you're going to, if someone's willing to face their own death for some purpose, isn't that the kind of person you want to keep alive? So it was his acceptance that he can't control his fate and letting it go and being like, you know what, maybe this is what I was meant for. That's actually what preserved him. And this is a principle that is so true in life. The more you, a lot of times, actually psychologists have talked about this before, is like a lot of times the more you want something, it's inversely proportional to the likelihood that you'll get it. Like people who really want something and they're trying to get it, like let's say you really want someone to love you. You end up bombarding them and overwhelming them and they're like, whoa, back off. You know, that's like that in life so much. And you have to learn to just let go and realize you don't control your fate. And then on her end, she had a complete 180 in her perspective, because she writes these tragedies where it's all about death and sadness and gloom. And she realizes that she doesn't really, I mean, I don't know if you could say she realizes she doesn't control her fate necessarily, but I think what she realized was that quality of life mattered. Like there's more to life than this, you know, that life really does have a meaning and purpose. And it's like, yeah. So that's what I think it is. It's like he ended up saving himself by being willing to die.
I like that. I still don't get the whole he's a real human being, but he's hearing her narrate thing.
Yeah, that was confusing me when you were talking about that. That's the whole movie. I mean, you knew that going into the movie.
Yes, but it makes sense if at the end you find out he was never real. He was a very, very real representation. Like he was so real to her that he was a human being, but then at the end, like you find out like he was just a character.
Nah, I disagree with that. I mean, I think I knew from the beginning, from the previews, he was a real person that she was writing. I mean, I never got that there was going to be this bait and switch ever. Like, I think I get what you're saying, but I think the idea that he actually was a real person is what made the story so unique and so different.
Right. Like, I mean, it makes it unique and different, but I just don't get it. Like, they don't put it like this.
I think that's profound.
Thank you. I'm trying to think of how to word. The implication there is that anytime an author in the world writes a book about somebody, they hear the narration in their head.
No, that's not the implication.
I mean,
this was an edge case. It was a weird, bizarre thing that happened.
But why?
To teach them a lesson that, you know, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying. Why does anything weird? There's stories where all kinds of weird things happen, you know?
I mean, that's true. I don't know, man. I don't know why I'm so hung up on that, but that was the thing I could not get over last night. I was like, what was the point of any of this? Like,
I mean, I think the point is that, you know, sometimes weird things happen in life. You find yourself in bizarre circumstances and they're meant to teach you a lesson. They're meant to teach you about how you're supposed to grow.
That's fair.
And so,
like I said, I like your explanation of why did they back off of killing him? Because I was like, that kind of feels cheap. Like it feels like telling you at the beginning of like there's a book called John Dies at the End or something like that.
Dude, my friend. Okay, have you seen the movie for it? I
didn't know there was a movie. I haven't read the book. It feels like that. It feels like titling your movie, Harold Crick dies at the end, and then you watch it and he doesn't. And they just go like, yeah, but you saw we pulled that off. I'm like, no, but you told me he's going to die from the beginning of the movie.
I always thought he's not going to die. Like that was all in the back of my head. I was like, of course they're going to say, I mean, it had that comedic drama, like feel good movie feel to where like, all right, it's going to work out in the end.
I feel like what would have been a little more impressive to me is if they could have pulled off the death in a way that made it profound. Like it didn't come off depressing. It made it profound and like it was set up from the beginning perfectly. Like how they did the life-saving thing with the watch. Like somehow the death was perfectly set up from something from the beginning as well. Here's another thing. The kid with the bike. He was in it from the beginning, but like, there's no setup for that. Like, other than just like you see scenes of her imagining it in different ways. Like when they're out sitting in the rain and she's on the bridge and she just sees the kid riding on his bike in the rain in her mind. And then he like jumps off the curb. It causes a woman to blah, blah, blah. And she falls off the bridge. Okay, cool. But then, like, in real life, that's what ends up happening. Like, he rides his bike straight into the road in front of a bus. I'm just like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm a guy who needs a little more explanation or something. I find it weird that I'm just supposed to accept that, like, she's writing a book about a guy named Harold Crick who's an IRS agent. There's a guy named Harold Crick who's an IRS agent. As she's writing it, there's no communication. Oh, and also, she's talking in the thing on the news. This is another thing that was weird. When he walks in the professor's office, when he realizes who she is, she's talking to a person on the news about a book called Death and Taxes. And he's like, that's her. That's the woman who's been narrating. He's like, what? No, it can't be. That interview's like a decade old. And he's like, no, that's her. I'm telling you, that's what leads him to go track her down. And then what happens? The book she's writing is Death and Taxes about him. So either A, there's some weird time stuff going on here, because when she was on that news, an author's not going to go on a news thing to do an interview about a book that they're not like about to put out. Like that's you doing your promotional circuit. That's like,
it depends on how famous the author is. If the author is very famous,
I'm saying, like, you're not going to go do a promotional circuit on like that, like the Today Show or something, and be like, yeah, I've got like 100 words written. I got like half a chapter done already. Like, you're not going to do that. Like, she had either the book was done during that interview a decade ago, or it was close enough to being done. Here's my thing. Why hadn't he been hearing the voice for a decade?
I mean, I think there's two ways to explain that. The first thing is that she could have written it a while ago, and then once he caught up to the things she was writing, that's when he started hearing the voice, you know. But the other way to explain it is she was just starting to write it, or she was talking about that interview. I don't think it was just an interview with the author, and she was describing a new work that she's working on. I don't think there was evidence to suggest she had written it then, you know. And we also know she might have written an outline for it, because we know from the end she wrote an outline, but it didn't actually affect him until she wrote it down in the typewriter. So she might have had it planned out and been working on it for a while, and she's had writer's block for a very long time. So, yeah, I mean, there's all different kinds of ways to explain it, but I think you just kind of have to, like, accept that there's elements of it that we don't fully understand. Which, it's a supernatural event, you know, like, where it doesn't really fully make sense.
Yeah, I guess.
I think it's kind of like, you know, I know people who have had supernatural experiences, and it's like really weird and bizarre, but I don't expect it to be normal for everyone. Like you were saying, the implication is that whenever an author writes, I'm like, I don't think that's the implication. I think this was some kind of strange phenomena that happened that we can't explain, and it just happened to teach them this lesson. And, well, not just happened, like that was the point of it. It was meant to show them, you know, a lesson.
Fair enough. Now let me move on to my other big gripe of the movie.
Oh, man.
Maggie Gyllenhaal. Oh, boy. Oh, my gosh. How do you make it to adulthood? How do you make it to becoming a full-fledged adult in the world who is alive and owns a business and not understand tax laws? Like, even a little.
She does understand tax laws.
No, because, like, whenever he was, like, finished doing her stuff or whatever, she was like, made him the cookies, and they got like really offended when he wouldn't take them, and he was like, well, it constitutes a gift, and like, we're not allowed to do that. She got like really upset with him. And I understand that her whole point, like the whole thing that led to her being audited, was that she intended to break tax laws. Like, she wanted to. She states it multiple times. I get it. But that was never the implication with the cookie thing. Like, she did that because she wanted to do something nice for him. And then when he explained to her calmly and maturely that, like, I can't, like, I could purchase them from you, but like, I can't just take a thing, because if you say that even to the wrong person on accident, much less intentionally, that I took something for free from you, it could be misconstrued. It could turn into a whole thing. I could lose my job. Like, she, like, just her reaction to that whole thing killed her character for me for the rest of the movie. I was like, you're ridiculous. Like, you, first of all, why? You have to pay taxes. So do we all. Do any of us like it? Absolutely not. But you have to do it. That's just, it's a thing you have to do. And when you don't, you knew there'd be a consequence. You're being audited, and you're acting like a child to the person who comes to audit you, and like throwing dough at the wall and stuff, just acting like it. And don't get me wrong, I know that there are real people who act that way and worse in the world, but they're stupid. And that's my point. I don't like those people, and I don't like her. But at least with that part, I was like, well, maybe this is just meant to be like exaggerated, like whatever. But like, it was the milk and cookie scene that killed it for me. I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, you either don't understand, which makes you dumb, or you do, which makes you like unbearable. And I could not get behind her character after that. Even after, like you said, like, she got better, but I never could fully get on board with the whole them dating thing after that scene.
Well, I mean, I'll give it to you that I thought she overreacted too, but I think that she was, my perception of it was she was more aggravated that was even a rule, and like she was actually trying to be nice, and she kind of liked him a little bit, and it didn't work out like she wanted it to. I agree, she overreacted to it. But he was being too stiff, too. It's really not that big of a deal, because she baked him some cookies because she, gave him a hard time. You can take the cookies. It's not, I mean, yeah, if someone were to, I don't think he would lose his job over something like that. He'd get a slap on the wrist and say, hey, you're not allowed to do that. Because I think the big thing, and I don't know what the actual law is there, but I think the big thing is, like, if you accept a gift, then it could suggest that she was giving you stuff.
She's bribing
her,
you.
to help her slide away. Which obviously he's not doing any of that. So he was being too stiff. She overreacted a little. I agree, but then I think also the point is she's like trying to get him to stop being that way. Like, and he won't even take some cookies from her, even though she's trying to show him that she likes him. And it's like, geez, dude, you are so stiff. Like, can you not tell I'm trying to flirt with you? Like, that was kind of the takeaway. I agree with you to an extent that she overreacted, but it didn't kill her character. It was just like, all right, well, yeah, but you should have.
I mean, it didn't help. I didn't like her from the beginning.
Because she's Maggie Gyllenhaal?
Yeah, as soon as I saw her face, I was like, Rachel, no. No, I mean, but in all seriousness, I was just like, I don't know, man. I didn't like her. And honestly, I can't think of anyone in that role that I would have liked acting that way. I just think that was a poorly written, like, it would have made her a lot more, like, sympathetic. Like, you could have been a lot more sympathetic to her if, like, she was struggling or something and couldn't pay all her taxes. And then he comes in and he sees what he sees, which is that she's got that homeless guy in there all the time. And she's always like, she traded a bunch of baked goods for a guitar, and like all the, like, as he learns that, he can then at the end say what he says about, like, you can deduct all of the food you give away as charity. And it actually, as much as I've seen you do, equates to more than what you haven't paid. Like, you actually would probably get money back. And that would be a cool thing. And you care because she earned it, because she was a nice person who was trying to do the right thing, and in struggling couldn't pay all her taxes. But instead, she's like, I meant to not pay all my taxes. That's the whole point. I don't want to pay my taxes. I only pay the % that I want to pay. First of all, that's not even how that works. They take the money they get, whether it's all of it or not, and they determine where it goes.
That's not right, but that is how it works. Yeah. I mean,
you can't just like, I want to pay these taxes, and these taxes, and I'm not paying the rest.
Look, though, here's the thing. Here's where you're going to get me on this. We're going to get in a little political here, but
yes.
That's kind of what started the revolution. They were like, we're not paying these taxes. This is taxation without representation, a 3% tax on tea, dumping the tea in the river. So, like,
which, by the way, probably just made a lot of tea.
All the fish are British now.
Yeah.
Sort of,
Le swim.
that's French.
Didn't you say French?
No, I said British.
Oh. Swim, governor.
Oh, I see you've got a pinky too now. Oh, what kind of tail you got? You got the English breakfast. That's
I'm a
my
pinky
favorite.
fin bass flounder, mate. I don't know. I don't know fish.
Yeah, we were doing so well, and you just.
Were we? I thought we went off the rails when I said let's swim.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair point. But yeah, I mean, I actually I don't necessarily think that's the way to do it, the way she was doing it, unless it's organized. If it's like a whole state or something, I think that's how you should try to do it, is get a whole organization saying we're not paying this because it's unconstitutional. I think I could support that. But if you're just deciding on your own, I'm not going to pay my taxes. Yeah, then that's a silly way to do it. But I also see where she's coming from. So and I mean, yeah, I think it's
like,
also,
okay, Wesley Snipes.
I think part of it too was it was supposed to be a little exaggerated. Like that was supposed to be the kind of foil, is like the tax man falls in love with the lady.
The tax evadee.
Yeah, exactly. Oddity protocol.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
flowers.
Yeah.
Bags of flowers.
Yeah. Yeah.
For baking.
So, I mean, I'm a little disappointed in your reaction. I thought you were going to just love this movie, but I guess, and like the
I
fact
didn't
that
hate it.
But the fact that you didn't like that they saved his life at the end really blew me away, because that was one of my favorite things. I thought that was so clever. How they did it with the wristwatch too, and then the way it ends. So it was a wristwatch save Harold Crick. I was like, that's genius. I love it.
It also almost killed him.
No, it saved him. It was the only thing that saved him.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, the whole thing of him setting the time or whatever, it like almost killed him. Like if the author had chosen to just kill him, the wristwatch would have killed him.
But it wasn't him. It was Harold Crick who put the time wrong. The watch actually tried to warn him about it. It was first trying to warn him about Anna Pascal. I was trying to tell
which
him.
Also makes no sense, by the way.
No, because he liked her. He was like,
but
go after the girl you want.
So the watch is sentient too?
No, it's not sentient, but it's like it's a playful. I think you're thinking too in depth about all the details about this stuff.
Because I really was expecting, I think, a whole different kind of movie than what I saw. I was just like, what is going on here? The watch is like catcalling and like trying to get him to. I'm like, what is happening right now? And then it dies. And then right after it dies, he just turns it back on and puts I'm like, that's not how a watch dying works. You don't just turn it back on and now here's the time. Oh my gosh. Oh my God.
It sounds like you did hate the movie.
I didn't. I have to look. You said you loved it.
Yeah.
It's
one of my favorites.
It wouldn't be much of a conversation if I was just like, it was perfect. You think it was perfect too? Cool.
That would be we have gush conversations all the time.
Right, but I knew after I watched it I wasn't gonna be able to gush about this. So I was like, I'm gonna have to like harp on my gripes. Like
Okay, what did you like about it?
Okay, so the premise itself is cool. Like the whole thing of him like just all of a sudden starting to hear narration about his life. I was like, that's interesting. It's not a normal, like I said earlier, like way to deliver the story. Pretty interesting. Loved the dynamic of the professor and him. Dustin Hoffman like really killed it in that role.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was expecting there to be a little bit more to his how do I say this? Like the life around him, I guess. I get that they kind of intentionally left it kind of like blank space on the canvas sort of thing because he's kind of like an estranged loner or whatever, but there wasn't much, in terms of like dynamics with other characters. You pretty much have him and the professor, him and Miss Pascal, which that was another thing I didn't like, by the way. I'm sorry.
We're talking about things you liked right now, Chris.
But even on their date,
just put a pin in it.
She was calling him Mr. Crick, and he was calling her Miss Pascal while they were making out. I'm like, no one talks like that if you're making out. Like, this not.
No one talks at all if you're making out.
Well, yes, but but I'm just like, why would you call her that? That's such a mood killer.
I disagree with that. It was endearing. It was like that's how they met, kind of a thing.
Yeah, but like it would be cute if you showed that they got familiar with each other. Then he called her that, because then it's like, oh, okay, he's calling her that.
Your whole point is because they're being intimate. It's weird to call them, and you're saying if they were more intimate, it would make it less weird.
Because at least then it's more like a callback. If they were like, the fact that, put it like this, it was off-putting to me because that was the first time they ever did anything together, and it was just like, oh yeah, I barely know you. I don't even know you enough to call you by your first name, but I'm in your house eating dinner and we're making out on your couch, and then other things. I was like, what? You didn't even call her Anna the whole time. It's a Miss Pascal, like she's your teacher or something. Like what?
Yeah, it's part of his character. He can't separate that. He's still learning how to just be a dude who enjoys life instead of IRS agent stiff Harold Crick.
Ladies, if there are ever any listening to this, red flag.
Okay, can you continue with the things you liked about the movie?
That might have been it. I like the author.
Were you okay? Yeah, she's an interesting character.
I liked her. I like I said, I kind of wish we had gotten more of her. Because
did you like her dynamic with the Queen Latifah character?
Yeah, I was also worried about, and they did a good. I thought, I was like, oh my gosh, are we gonna get like a B plot of them fighting the whole time? Because I don't want that. They did a good job of like, when they were in scenes together, you could still see there was like a little bit of tension. Like the author clearly didn't want her there, but she wasn't just like a jerk to her for no reason. Like she was just doing her normal, weird, quirky stuff and kind of agitated that she had to explain it to someone.
Yeah.
But I thought they did a good, and actually it worked because Latifah is the viewer. Like the author is explaining her weirdness to us, but has Queen Latifah's character to voice it too. So it worked. So I like them. I like that dynamic. I like the author. I like that Queen Latifah gave her patches to like get her to stop smoking.
Yeah, that was funny at the end. Did you like the overall plot? Like, were you waiting to see how it was going to progress, and like, were you eager? Obviously, up until the point where he called her and everything. But
honestly, literally up to the point where he didn't die. Like, whenever she finished, I think I started saying this earlier, and I said something that threw me off, and I got sidetracked. When she finished the ending and pinned it, but she had not written it, and they met, I was like, kind of mind blown. I was like, "What? Wait a minute! What? This is real? Like, he's a real dude? This is really happening, and they're really meeting? I'm so confused. This is cool. Like, what's gonna happen?"
Oh, okay.
And then like, she told him she had pinned the ending but hadn't typed it. He took it. She let him take it, which I know we're talking about things I liked, but an author would never do that. Anyway,
never do what?
An author would never give someone their typed up manuscript and even notes for the things she hasn't typed yet. And she's like, yeah, just take it. Go read it.
To Harold Crick?
Yeah.
She would in that scenario.
Maybe.
This is like a life or death situation about whether she's going to kill somebody. It's like, you're telling me if you were writing a story and your actual fictional character showed up, you wouldn't hand him your notes?
No.
About his life? That's a you thing.
I'm like, Daniel, get out of here. Why are you in my
let
house?
Me kill you.
You're going to slip on a banana peel like a cartoon character, and you're going to like it. No, honestly, I would go through like warfare with them. Like I would be like typing down things to make it harder for them to get to me the whole time.
That actually would have been comedic if they would have done something like that. Like she's running to the typewriter, he's like fighting her.
Yeah.
He's like, Harold punches himself.
Yeah, like that would have been.
Stop it!
Actually, that would have been the one thing in the movie Will Ferrell would have done really well.
Yeah, that's true.
He would have done that really well. But
I'm kind of sad they didn't do that now because that would have been really funny.
I need to stop pitching things to you when we talk about movies, because even ones that you love, you end up being like, yeah, that would have made it better.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, when he took the manuscript to the professor, and he left it with him, it shows the professor reading it, and he really doesn't have much of a reaction, so you don't really know what's going on. And then they meet back up, I guess, the next day, and he tells him, he's like, I've been over it multiple times. He said, it's a masterpiece. Like, you have to die, because he tells him, you're going to die at some point. You're going to contract a disease from a vacation you took, or you're going to choke on a mint or whatever. Like he says a couple things. He's like, but you will never have a death that's more poignant and poetic than what she has written here. And like, he goes on and on talking about how like it's just a necessity that you have to die. And he hands him the story back, and Harold Crick is clearly not happy with that, but he gets on the bus, and it just shows all these clips of him just like writing the route of the bus over and over while he's like flipping through the pages of the transcript. And like in different little scenes, he kind of giggles a little and like shakes his head, like he's enjoying reading his own little mishaps and story, and like reading through this last chunk of his life that he's been in. And then he gets to the end, you don't really see much of a reaction, and the next thing you know, he goes back to the author and he hands her the transcript back, and he says, it's a beautiful story, thank you. And he's like just grateful for it. Like he had come to try, he read the end and he came to terms with what was going to be the case, which at that point, I was like convinced. I was like, oh, okay, he's going to die. And somehow, however they do it in the movie, they're probably not going to tell us what the ending was. They're going to show us like a movie would do. And when it happens, we're going to be like, oh my gosh, like that just makes sense. And it's right. Like there's no other way this could have been done well, but for him to die to make the point of the story. And I was like on board with that because, and you know, I've told you, I've been on here and told you, like, I'm not a fan of sad movies. Like it's hard for me to get into a sad movie, but like, I was already prepped for that because of the beginning of the movie. And then especially after he read the thing and accepted it, I was like, okay, like I'm expecting it now, and I'm expecting there to be like a good reason for it. And then blah, 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 blah. Fast forward, the kid on the bike, the bus. I'm like, oh, that's why they've been showing this the whole time. And it happens. It's like a little forced because again, I just feel like there wasn't enough explanation, like set up for that kid on the bike. Who the heck is he?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like, I was like, we got nothing for him. So like there was still some, but I was like, I get it. Like it's like all the pieces came together that she was kind of, I was like, okay, I get it. That's cool. And then when it cuts and he's in the hospital, I was like, what? I don't get it. Like, I thought the whole point of having him, and in a way the audience, accept that he's going to die, but like he's okay with it because of the purpose of it. And like you said, like the quality of life he's lived over the last however long that's supposed to be, like he kind of just started living his life, you know? I don't know. I just, it left me.
But then when she explained it though, first off, I never had that experience. The whole time I'm like, I know they're going to keep him alive. This is a feel-good movie. You know, there's a happy ending. It's possible it could have been happy with his death, but that just seems, I mean, the whole story is centered around him, so that seems difficult to me. But
well, that's what was so interesting to me, was I was like, this is clearly you're pretty much your only main character, the protagonist of the movie, and like you're going to kill him, but like it's going to apparently be done in a way that it's a masterpiece, according to the professor. That's why I was so intrigued. I felt like I was robbed of that a little bit. I felt like I was robbed of them like dangling what, according to them, was like the perfect ending right in front of us, and then didn't tell us what it was or show us, and instead they did this other thing and expected me to be like, oh, that's the perfect ending.
Well, we wouldn't have understood the perfect ending because we haven't read the novel. They're just showing us.
But the novel's his life.
Yeah, but they're just showing us the bits and pieces of his life that are important for our version of the story,
which is supposed to be the book.
Who is hearing the narration? It's not supposed to be the book. For instance, the characters. I don't think they did this well enough. I agree with you, but like the kid on the bike and the lady driving the bus, I realized that they were like, oh, they're showing that she's also writing about these characters and that their lives are going to somehow intertwine. But they never explain that well enough for you to get that. But the point is there's a huge chunk of the novel that's left out for us. It's like that's why it was a masterpiece, because somehow those stories all intersected and it was all meant for this one moment. But
that's fair.
What makes this story, the story that we're watching, a masterpiece is actually once he was willing to sacrifice himself for something more important, once he was willing to lose his life, it led to him saving it. And then her explanation of it at the end was, I thought, really profound. And like, I thought it was so good. Like, it's one of my favorite things about the movie because Professor Hilbert reads it and he's like, it's okay, which I thought was funny because it's like, of course he wants him to die. Like, I thought it was even funny when he was like, you have to die. It's a masterpiece. It's like, this dude is more concerned with a good novel than keeping someone alive. But
a fake fictional character.
Yeah. But then he when he tells the Karen Ivel, it's like, it's okay and stuff, and it doesn't make sense. She's like, yeah, I'll rewrite it. But he said, why'd you change the story? And she said, well, it's supposed to be about someone who doesn't know they're going to die. Like, that's what makes it a masterpiece. And then they die due to unforeseen circumstances. But if someone is actually willing to face their death and does it anyway, that's the kind of person you want to keep alive. And that's the message, like, that's part of the message of the story there.
Maybe that's the real punk rock.
Yeah, exactly. Keep people alive.
No, I mean, I get it. And like I said, your explanation of it, I like. Sorry for that weird noise in the mic. My headphones got tangled. I like that better than just how the movie portrayed it, to be honest. So
that was how it was portrayed to me. That's the message I took away.
But that's because you're smart.
Well, yeah.
No, like, in all seriousness, I didn't get that. I was just like, this is wild. Like, what is this? What does this even mean? What is this life we're living? Where are we?
I think that's due to things that probably have nothing to do with the movie.
Yeah, I had a lot going on.
We need to talk.
So, by the way, this is something I like.
I thought you were about to say something like, by the way, I've had a few tragedies this past week. Might be playing into my feelings of this movie. Okay, this is something you liked.
Yes. So, did you catch the little cute nod to the fact that Anna Pascal bakes and does like muffins and stuff, and then at one point he walks by a place called Drury Lane?
Oh no, I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
I like that. That's pretty cool. This movie is full of stuff like that. I loved that about the movie. Like how they were constantly showing what he's counting and visualizing, but other people weren't picking up on. Like the scene where he's first meeting the professor was just genius to me. Like I loved the way that was portrayed because it gives you such an interesting view of both characters. Because on the one hand, you're like, why don't you explain to him that you were counting the soap or measuring the soap, but not the tiles?
Yeah.
But I guess it's because he doesn't realize what the professor's trying to do. And he's like, no, counting tiles. Why would I do that? You know?
Yeah.
He's even unaware of his quirks.
Well, I guess here's what I think my biggest overall gripe with this movie is. Like what all my little gripes kind of form into one Megatron gripe. It does not explain things well at all. This movie I think that it was doing a lot of showing, not telling, but sometimes you got to do a little telling, like a little, like just enough. You don't got to douse me in exposition. But let me explain why I say that. In that scene where he meets the professor, they're walking like into the building. And he turns around and he says, "How many steps?" He goes, "What?" He goes, "How many steps did we just walk?" He's, I don't know. I wasn't counting. And then it like shows him counting, like you said, something else. And then he goes to like get a coffee and he asks him about something else. And he's like, "I don't know." And then they went in the bathroom. He asked him like 3 times specifically about counting. Now, like you said, it's showing him counting, but different things, not what the professor's asking. And hearing you explain it that way makes me go, okay, yeah, I could kind of see what that scene was trying to convey now. It's like he's right there, but he's missing the point. Like, both of them really. Like, he doesn't understand what he's asking him, and he doesn't understand he's just a hair off. Like, if he asked him this, he'd be correct.
And it also showed the professor's pretentiousness. Like, he's so pretentious, he thinks he knows the specifics of what it should be.
Right.
If he's a character. Like,
and, well, the funny thing is he's right. Like, he's pretentiously right.
He's right about the broad
area.
Right. And if you were a smart person and if you weren't letting your pretentiousness get in the way, you would just ask, were you counting anything in there? Was there anything that you were paying? Like,
that's fair.
You don't have to. He was giving him the specifics as if he's.
And I will say, it actually makes it even funnier now that you told me he plays Rain Man, that he was asking him how many this, how many that. Like, that's another funny nod in the movie, by the way.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyway, my point is, in that scene, he asked him 2 or 3 times specifically, how many this, how many that, or whatever. What do we know about Harold throughout this part of the movie up to that point? That he does. He counts things. He counts his steps. He counts his brush strokes with the toothbrush, blah, 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 blah. He counts. And even in that scene, the little thing, the little calculations, like he's counting in those scenes. So when he asked him that 3 times and he just told him, "No, I don't know. I wasn't counting that," or whatever, I never picked up on the fact that like he was trying to figure out his trope or whatever. Yeah. I was just like, how does he know he's counting stuff? Well, like, how does he know that?
He actually does explain it at the end of it. I'll give you this. I've seen this movie a lot. I didn't pick up on it the first time I watched it. That's one of my favorite things about this movie is the more you watch it, the more you're like, oh, that's the things they were doing. And I think that's a testament to show, don't tell. But, I mean, you're right. They maybe should have explained it a little better. But at the end of their conversation, he says, "Well, I can't help you because there's not a single literary thing about you." And I think it was like the second time I watched it, I was like, oh, that's why he was asking him all those questions, because he's trying to figure out if he's what kind of, archetype or whatever you want to call it.
Character.
Is he a hero? Is he, is this a tragedy? So yeah, he's trying to figure out all these little things. He's like, I can't see any story in you at all. But he was asking all the too specific questions as if he was writing the story himself, which made him come across as a little pretentious, which I think is
no,
and Harold Crick, he counts the stuff, but he's not necessarily aware that he's living his life that way. So he's probably like, why are you asking me if I'm counting the tiles? Why would anybody do that? Not even aware that he was paying attention to the measuring of because we all do things like that subconsciously, and then our friends bring it up to us, and we're like, oh yeah, I guess I do that.
Do.
Yeah.
Moi.
You've made your point.
Daniel Bob over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man.
You just have bad taste.
I do. No, but like I was saying, like if it was just that scene, I'd be like, maybe you're right. Maybe that's more of on multiple watches, I could appreciate that more. But with it being that scene and the kid on the bike and the vague timeline of really the whole movie, but especially specifically when I was talking about Pascal and him dating, you don't really know, have they only been out twice by the end of the movie, or have they been going out for has a month passed? Because this whole time the author is trying to meet a deadline, but they never even tell you when the deadline is. There's no time in this movie. Time, which is ironic since one of the main little things is a wristwatch. Time is very irrelevant in this movie to some extent. Like, even when she pins his death, they do it in a way where she pins it, but it doesn't even matter yet because it hasn't been typed. So, like, he's got essentially infinite time until it's typed.
I wouldn't say it's irrelevant. I would say it's ambiguous.
Yeah.
There is some kind of timeline. Like, I gathered that from it. It's like, okay, there are rules. We just don't know what they are.
Right.
So, and I'm fine with that. I don't need to know. You know, it's like Lord of the Rings. You would appreciate this because you've seen Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people have questions about what Gandalf can and cannot do because sometimes he randomly does it. And if you study the lore of Middle Earth, you know what he can and cannot do.
Right, like me, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you could give me all the Astari. You could tell me all of their, I understand all that.
Big Dipper, Little Dipper,
yeah,
Orion's Belt. I know all the stories.
Anyways. But the point is if you don't know the lore of Middle Earth, when you're watching it, there's kind of this understanding of like, all right, he has limits to what he can do. We just don't know what they are because he's a wizard. He's beyond, because we're the main story is on the hobbits. We're focusing on them. And I think the idea is that we're, from their perspective, is like there's this huge grand world of stuff we don't understand. And somehow we're going to be the ones to save the day, So I think it's something kind of similar where it's like, there's rules to this world and Stranger Than Fiction, but we don't understand or know what they are. But we don't need to know because we get the premise, we get the gist of what happened.
That's fair. I mean, yeah. Like I said, I think it all boils down for me to just like, I didn't need a ton of exposition, but even just like a little in certain spots might have went a long way.
I'm curious to see if you watched it again, if you would have the same feeling. But
yeah, now you've got me curious on that because you were talking about there were things that you picked up on multiple rewatches or whatever. So
yeah, I've seen it, but to be fair, I loved it the first time I saw it. Even though I did have questions like what you had, which I didn't fully understand all of it, I got it. I got what they were trying to do, and I was like, that was so cool. So I watched it a bunch.
Well, my main question, honestly, was why Maggie Gyllenhaal?
I don't know. Why Will Ferrell? Both of those could have been different.
Actually.
I mean, I'm with you on those two. Like, they could have recast those two, and it probably would have been a better movie. Joseph Gordon-Levitt and
Ryan Gosling
as the baker.
Yeah, he could do it all. No, I mean, there are probably a few. Dude, that would be a fun episode. Like, we go through movies that we like, but recast certain roles that we were like, this person would have done this better.
Balls of Fury, you know that movie?
Mm-hmm.
Jack Black should have starred in that one.
Instead of
that guy. I don't remember that guy's name.
Is it Vince Vaughn?
No, Balls of Fury? You're thinking of Dodgeball.
Yeah.
No, Balls of Fury is the ping pong one.
Oh.
Where Christopher Walken's the bad guy?
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen that actually.
Okay.
But I know of it.
Yeah. Jack Black could have done that role way better.
Interesting.
I've thought a lot about this question actually. So there's a lot of
So recasts. That would be a good episode then.
Yeah.
You actually would probably have more than me.
Maybe so.
Why don't we have Michael Cera play Shaft?
Who's Shaft?
Never mind. It's a reference to Donald Glover stand-up.
Oh.
There was like a whole petition on Twitter years and years and years ago for him to play Spider-Man. And half of Twitter was like, yeah, Donald Glover for Spider-Man. And the other half was like, he's black, kill him. Like, that's what the joke is. Like, he literally says that. And he said that there was one guy in particular who like got on there and was voicing his opinion and was just like, Donald Glover for Spider. Oh, we're just gonna have a black guy play Spider-Man, play Peter Parker. Well, why don't we have Michael Cera play Shaft? Which Shaft is a character that like Samuel L. Jackson played in a movie, and Michael Cera's like notoriously one of the whitest actors of all time. So it was a really funny joke. I thought you would have heard that because it's like that stand-up came out back in like 2008 maybe 2009, something like that. It's really funny. It's the only one he's ever done, actually.
The only joke he's ever done?
Only stand-up. Yeah, that's the only joke he ever wrote. He's got that one joke. It's a short special. A lot of commercials.
Yeah. That was pretty good. No, I've heard about his special. I just didn't know about that joke.
Yes, that's actually like where the whole thing came from. Of like, oh, you never saw,
dude. Oh, there's
Johnny Bravo.
Hey there, I gotta.
Oh, mama.
Hey there. What's that line? He goes, you smell kind of pretty. Dude,
I used to love that show,
me too, man. It's so funny. I like the one where she's like, "What kind of idiot are you?" I don't know. What cons are there? It's good stuff. Yeah, Johnny Bravo's great.
Oh, man.
Another dramedy. If you don't think this is a dramedy, if you ever decide to watch it, it's another, like, most people don't know it. I found it on Prime.
I've probably seen
Dimitri Martin stars in it and wrote it. He's also in The Rocker, by the way. So, but it's called Dean. He wrote it and he starred in it. It's really funny and really good. It's way less serious than like Stranger Than Fiction, but serious enough where there's like heartwarming. And you're not gonna cry, but there's like heartwarming moments where it's like, oh, that's nice.
Okay.
But it's pretty, and it's like Dimitri Martin, so you know it's gonna be funny, at least to some extent.
So why don't you want to watch the new World of Worlds with me to make fun of it?
Because I like to watch good movies. If I
good
know
movies
I'm
are
gonna hate
good,
it,
but like, come on, that'd be funny.
I don't enjoy watching just terrible movies just for the sake of ripping it apart necessarily.
It would be so funny though.
Maybe
we would have good material. We would be hilarious.
Are you saying we should watch it like on the podcast together, like react as we're watching it?
We could always try that again. We tried it with Ghostbusters, and for did we lose the footage or something? Something happened, and we never could put that out.
I wasn't able to figure out a way to get the movie onto the.
That's right.
The editing, like the actual software.
That's right.
So I didn't know what to do about that, and I kept trying to look for ways. I remembered we got done filming. I was like, I really didn't think this through. That was a shame too, because Ghostbusters was great.
That was so funny.
It was way better than I even expected it to be.
I will never forget you dying at that scene of him like skipping through the square.
It's just so unexpected. It's just the way she like stops and looks, and it's like, oh, and you see dancers around, so it makes sense why he's doing it, and he's just skipping. Oh no! I kicked something.
So yeah, all in all, man, I give Stranger Than Fiction probably like a 7
out of 10.
Yeah.
Oh, that's better than I thought you would have given it.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, it was enjoyable, and honestly, I might at some point rewatch it just to see if I get more from it. But yeah, I mean, it was, like I said, I liked it, but I knew how you felt about it, and I felt like I didn't have enough to like gush about it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just gonna have to like really focus on they were gripes. I mean, they weren't like movie ruining things. They were just gripes.
Except that it killed her character, Maggie Gyllenhaal's character.
Maggie Gyllenhaal killed her character the second they cast her.
I do agree with you, too, that they could have done something better to put a rift between them than that cookie scene.
Yeah.
But I also got what they were going for.
Yeah, I mean, me too. Like I said, everything that I brought up, although I said it like it was like end of world, because I mean, I had to play a little devil's advocate here to like have a fun conversation. I knew it would be more fun to have you be like, what? This is such a good movie. How can you not like this? This is a stupid thing to not like. Than it would be to be like, yeah, it was pretty good. And then you'd be like, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, who wants sincerity, right?
Oh, I was sincere. I'm going to be honest. If anything, I probably helped back a little bit on my distaste for like the story. It's like the vagueness. Like I was trying to be nice because my thought process was I'm gonna literally like writing up here today. I was like, I'm gonna let Daniel explain this to me before I trash it, because I don't want to trash it and be like real passionate, like this movie's the worst. They don't know how to write anything. And then you'd be like, it's actually really simple. It's this. And then maybe like, oh yeah, I overreacted. So I was gonna let you explain it first.
An overreaction. Anybody want something from the break room? That's one of my favorite Office scenes.
Oh my gosh, man, dude. Such a good show.
News, talking about Screen News, The Paper. Have you seen the trailer for it?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I'm not sold on it from the trailer.
Yeah.
But I'm not one of the people who's like, this is going to be terrible.
Yeah.
Because they didn't put... Here's the thing I don't get about people. When they put funny stuff in a trailer for a comedy, they're like, oh, they gave the whole movie away. But when they put out a trailer for a comedy and there's like one joke and it's kind of subpar, because really the only joke... Well, there's two jokes in that trailer. One of them is the owner of the building talking about how like we put out something... toilet paper and newspaper, and that's in order of quality.
Yeah.
That was one joke. And then the other one was where like the main character says something and the woman who I guess doesn't speak good English is like, oh, don't be so self-defecating.
Yeah.
Like people were like, no pun intended. People were crapping all over that joke online and were like, that's not funny. That's not funny.
I actually thought it was pretty funny.
And I was like, I mean, I don't think it's meant to be like, slap your knee, run out, like lose your breath, laugh. I think it's just meant to be like, look at the tone. This is the tone of the show.
It's a tease.
Exactly. And to be honest with you, out of context, a lot of The Office isn't that funny.
Yeah.
The thing that makes The Office funny is the dynamics and like, you know, like for example, if I just walk up to someone and I'm like, well, how the turntables...
Yeah.
They're not going to get, it's not that funny unless you understand that it's Michael Scott saying it. It's kind of a triumphant moment. He ruins it because he butchers a phrase that he does that all the time with other words and phrases. Like it's funnier in context. Mm-hmm. And that there's a ton of jokes. There's probably even better examples that just, they're not that funny out of context. Maybe in context, that scene's really funny in the show. I just don't get it. People were like really mad about the trailer. And I was like, if they gave you 4 or 5 really funny scenes, you'd be like, oh my gosh, that's probably every joke in the first season. I'm like,
I've learned not to trust what anyone says on Twitter. I think half of them are bots and the other half are trolls. Because, like,
so what am I?
Well, that's the funny thing is I don't even know what your Twitter is. I don't follow you on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
You're the only real person I know of who actually has a Twitter, and I don't even see you on Twitter. So,
I'm on there, but I'm mostly just looking at sports stuff and movie stuff.
Yeah. I just look at it for news, and like the comments people make about stuff don't reflect like even remotely what I see in real life when I actually talk to people about this stuff. Nobody feels that's like this. I'm still seeing stuff about Superman. People saying the most outrageously ridiculous stuff about Superman.
People hated that movie. I'm not joking.
Online?
Yes.
Yeah.
People hated that. Shoot, at work. I go into work and people are in there talking.
Really?
Yes. People hated that. They're like, I was going to see Superman. Not whoever that was. Yeah, got his butt kicked the whole movie. I'm like, okay.
Man. See, I haven't had that. I mean,
which is funny because it's like the one thing that would, and I don't mean to intentionally keep talking right when you start talking.
No,
I just noticed that okay. I'm trying to save y'all.
Yeah. That's a fair point.
No.
Honestly, you're trying to save yourself because we know I'm going to insult you at some point.
Well, that's true too. I'm trying to get ahead of it. No, but like it's funny because like the one thing that you probably loved about the movie was that he was so beatable. Yeah. Everyone else was like, this is the worst Superman ever.
Yeah.
Anything could beat him. I don't even need kryptonite. I could piece him up. They didn't really do that, but that's how it feels. Alpha male energy. I love it.
Well, I mean, I will say that I did think that was one like piece about it that I didn't like as much as they didn't really show how powerful he could be.
We talked about that.
Yeah. But at the same time, they gave us context at the beginning of the movie. For 3 years, he's been kicking serious butt, and he lost his first battle. That was the context of this movie, is he's now really facing threats that he can't deal with.
Literally, the movie opens with him falling from the sky from his first butt kicking.
Yeah.
Like, that kind of sets the tone for what to expect. I don't think it's going to look the same in the next movie. Yeah. I think he's going to have grown from this.
Yeah.
I mean, personally. But
and he did. I mean, I know this was a small gripe too, but when it did come down to him facing his usual type threats, he did own like that time where he was like, yeah, good luck with that. And he like just laid waste That scene should have been a little bit longer. That's
all the
my only
raptors.
gripe. Yeah.
Yeah.
He just destroyed them. That was a hint to what he's been doing this whole time until Luther finally found a way to
basically just beat him with himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it was just a clone.
It was just, yeah. That's another good point. Is the only way Luther was able to do that is to clone him.
Yeah.
It shows you how powerful he is.
By the way, real news.
Oh boy.
We got the first official poster for Wake Up Dead Man.
What is that?
That is the newest Rian Johnson Knives Out mystery movie.
Oh.
Which means we are probably, I'd say, a couple weeks. That was funny. We're probably less than a month away from getting a trailer.
I am looking forward to that.
Me too.
I loved both of those movies.
When it comes, they're doing the same thing with this one that they did with the last one, where when it comes out, they're putting it in theaters just for that weekend. And I feel like I have to. I feel like I have to go see it.
I mean, they're great movies.
You gonna go?
I might, yeah.
Yes.
We'll see how it's going.
We're gonna make it happen.
Yeah, boy.
I'm really excited, dude. I love a good mystery, and he is good at the way he writes them. Like, I love the comedy elements. I love that. Did you notice, by the way?
He did a great job with Star Wars, too.
That's all we have for you guys today.
Yeah.
Did you notice in the first movie, the guy who plays the, like, other deputy, not like the main cop that was, what's his name? Lakeith something.
I don't remember his name.
Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. The main cop was the black guy. Then there was his deputy or whatever, was the like nerdy white dude who loved all the mystery books that
I think so.
The old guy who died in the first movie, he was like a murder mystery writer.
Mm-hmm.
And the little like deputy dude was like, "Oh, this is just like in such and such." Like he knew his book.
Yeah.
Did you notice that in the second movie, he's on the island? He's the guy who plays like the random dude who's just on the island with what's his face? Like what's the guy's name? The bad guy from the second movie.
Ed Norton?
Ed Norton. It's his island. The Glass Onion is like his big mansion on it or whatever. Mm-hmm. There's another guy that's just staying there with him. We never get any explanation as to who he is or why he's there. He just occasionally pops up in scenes and then goes away. Maybe says a word here or there. It's the same actor.
I never caught that, no.
Yeah, it's the same guy.
That's funny. I only saw Glass Onion once, and it was like 4 years ago.
I'm expecting him to be in the third one.
Yeah.
And I really hope that he is just another random, no explanation, just sometimes walks in the background character.
Yeah.
Like, that is hilarious to me. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, dude.
It's going to be good. We had more news than we thought.
Yeah, a little bit. I kind of glanced.
I'm looking forward to the paper. Like, it's a hit or miss for me.
Yeah, it will
go
be
one
for
way,
me too.
But I am excited to see, because I actually think this is the only thing I didn't like is that Oscar came back, and I get why they did it. And I'm like, all right, I can give it a pass because you're not bringing back Steve Carell. You know, you're just bringing back.
They better.
You think, well, if for a cameo or for like an episode or two, but like as a main character of the show, like I don't need Steve Carell again. Like it would be. I would
love that though.
I don't see. This is where you and I disagree. Like the way they're doing this spinoff, I think is a genius way to do because it's a completely different crew. It's a completely different story, but the film crew is the same. So it's the same universe.
Well, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I would want Steve Carell to be a main character in this show.
That's what I was getting at.
What I'm saying is I would just want The Office back.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like,
it wouldn't work, dude. You know how I know?
I need it to.
I understand that. But I know this because they tried to do a Seinfeld reboot episode. It was just a reunion episode. I think it was a part of Larry David's Curb Your Enthusiasm thing. And they did like this Inception thing where it was an episode about writing another Seinfeld episode. And then they showed the Seinfeld episode. But it did not work. The characters were older. They didn't click the same way. It just like you could tell.
The guy who played Kramer is a psycho.
Yeah, well, that's true too. But it just, and I think it would be the same with The Office. I don't think they could pull it off the same way.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe some of them, But I think Krasinski, Carell, Rain, and what's his name? And Helms. I think all of them they still got their comedic chops.
I'm not denying that. I'm just saying the chemistry, the thing that was magic when it was happening. First off, it kind of left when Steve Carell left, and they did 2 whole seasons after Steve Carell left. So
worst mistake.
Yeah, I mean, so they got that 2-year gap of what they remember last from doing it. That's going to affect it. But 2, it's like I just don't think it'll be the same. I'm not saying it'll be terrible, but if they tried to do The Office again, I don't think it'll be the same thing. Doing it in a context like this, where the characters come back and interact in a different situation, that could work. That could reignite it in a fresh new way. Like, I would love to see Jim and Steve meet up in the paper somehow. You know.
Is that the guy's name? The main guy?
No. I'm just saying.
Oh, Steve Carell.
Yeah, Steve.
Oh.
Sorry, I used one character name, one actor name. Jim and Michael Scott. You know, like they clash at a paper. Like maybe the paper team goes to a conference and Steve. You know, I don't know.
It would be funny if that paper like had to hire a bunch of people to do like segment specific articles. Because, you know, like in The Office, Jim went on to do like sports writing. Like he could be the sports writer. Like Kevin could be like the food, like the food of the week. You know, Steve Carell, dude, he would be a great like current events, like just out on the street beat reporter. He would have the most wild, like that'd be really funny.
Yeah, it would be funny.
Pam could just, you know, Dunder Mifflin, this is Pam. Pam, Pam, Pam. Yeah.
Is that all you got?
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you next time. I mean, I don't have anything else.
Yeah, I don't either, honestly. I was trying to make sure because I just remembered the Wake Up Dead Man thing there at the end. But
I'll have to watch a movie you want me to watch. Because you've watched a lot of movies I want you to watch, and I've only watched one that you wanted me to watch.
The main one that I want you to watch, you don't want to watch.
Law Abiding Citizen?
Yeah.
I did watch Nobody and Ghostbusters, to be fair.
But the main one that I want you to watch.
Well, it's because I already tried to watch it.
Yeah, I know.
It's not like I haven't seen it at all, but
what if we just skip the beginning? You don't got to rewatch the beginning. You know what happens. I mean,
maybe. I'll think about it.
And?
I'm still thinking.
Oh, okay. How long is this going to take?
Long enough for us to have to end the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Thank you all for tuning in. You have anything else to say?
What a cliffhanger.
I know.
Will he? Won't he?
Tune in next time
on Daniel and Chris, the edge of...
All right, I'm turning it off.